He's not telling you to avoid conflict. He's not saying conflict is bad, but my next guest believes we can all do conflict better and to get better at managing conflict. Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend says it requires skills that come by consistent, intentional practice. Dr. Matt will share how to improve your conflict resolution abilities so your relationships can stand strong.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Welcome to the glass
table. Good to be here, back at the glass.
Okay, so you say creating this lasting change within ourselves requires three things.
Yeah.
I love when we got like the concrete.
Oh, I got a lot of
they?
concrete here.
Okay.
Awareness, clarity, and change. So you can't fix something you're not aware of. And then once you start creating awareness, get really clear what the issue, what your pattern or problem is, and then change it. Like adapt your pattern. It's pretty simple stuff, right? You know where I learned it? So great. We just had a kid get married, Spencer. We've had like 5 kids married now. And there's this moment at every wedding that just makes me really nervous. It's dance time. Is
it like the father-daughter one,
no,
or just when everyone starts dancing?
That was so easy for me, the father-daughter, because it's like a slow dance. But when these kids start moshing and going crazy, and then they look over to like the 55-year-old
like,
man.
Come on, Dad.
Come on, Dad, shake a leg. And I'm like, I don't, I'll break a hip. But what I found is when I get there, I end up just the nervousness makes me react, and I automatically go to my signature move.
Which is?
Which is, well, it's now the sprinkler, but it used to be the Elvis, like, John Travolta pose, like the disco pose. But it's goofy, and it doesn't work, and the kids are embarrassed. And so I started thinking that our conflict is like a dance. In fact, some great researcher named Sue Johnson, who's kind of an expert in conflict, talks about the dance of our conflict. But what I want us to start looking at is the process that we go through all of this, okay? The first key is really step back, look at yourself. Like, I should look at what part of the problem of dancing I am. And some of it's like, I was not anticipating that. I wasn't thinking ahead.
After 5 marriages, weddings, you should probably plan on going to dance.
They sprung on me the daughter dance. I didn't know we were doing that. But if I sit there and I get into it, then I am aware of myself, then it becomes a little easier.
Okay, so that's the awareness.
Yeah, awareness. But one of the keys to that is kind of identify what kind of apple you are. This is a weird little research study, okay? Will Phelps is a professor, and he studied the impact of negativity on people and groups, okay? And he studied 3 types of negative people: depressive doubters, jerks who were just criticizing and critical, and slackers who never engaged. Okay, and what he found is if those 3 people participated with any of the groups in the study, that group performed 40% lower because of those negative people.
And so those are types of apples?
Those are types of apples. So are you a criticizer? Are you a pessimist? Are you just a slacker that doesn't pull your weight? Because if I didn't pull my weight and get ready for the dance, then that's going to eventually become a big part of my problem, right?
Okay, so that's the awareness, but to figure out what type of apple you are, and then how do we get to the clarity? You got
to see conflict as a dance, and then you got to figure out what moves you don't have. A lot of us don't have the right moves, okay? So when conflict hits, what we do is we automatically go to certain moves. So let me run down the moves, and everybody start thinking, which move do you go to?
Okay, so these are very common moves.
Common moves in conflict. Are you a blamer? So the minute the conflict comes up, you immediately start blaming. Are you a stonewaller who just goes quiet and withdraws? Are you a criticizer that attacks the partner's character instead of what we're talking about? Are you a deflector who avoids the issue by bringing up unrelated grievances? Are you a gaslighter that denies or distorts what's going on? And that actually makes people feel like they're going crazy talking to a gaslighter.
Yeah, because they're telling you something's truth that you know not to be truth.
Do you just justify everything you do? Do you just tell the reason was good and noble. This is why I didn't show up and pick you up at the train.
There's more.
There's more. Minimizer? You just minimize it? Do you make fun of it? Do you score keep? Do you say, well, what about? And you start throwing those other things out there. Whichever one of these moves you go to automatically is like the dance move, and you've only got one move. And then you're going to look like a fool about 10 more minutes into the dance when you're still trying to do your one move. Right?
And everyone knows that's your move.
That's right.
Everyone knows that's your move, and you may not realize
You may
it.
not realize
so it's
it.
all about looking at yourself, identifying what apple you are,
That's right.
identifying the dance move you always reach for.
Yeah, and you'll know your move because your partner says, you always blame me. They'll tell you what the move is.
So believe them.
And listen to them and just pick it up as a couple. And it might be fun as a couple to go sit down and say, what are our typical moves? I do this, I mock, you gaslight, I withdraw. Then once you understand your move, this is all I want you to do to try to fix it at first, right? Take extreme accountability of the conversation and its resulting changes. You own act as if you own 100% of every part of the conversation. You have so much power when you're talking to somebody, you don't have to react. You don't have to go to your signature move. You don't have to take offense. You don't have to believe what they say. You don't have to do any of that. So own your ownership and your accountability of the conversation. The minute I get people owning the conversation, it doesn't have to end ugly. I don't have to be offended by what you say. We don't have to do the same fight over and over again. And if I can get one of you to just stop doing that by just owning your part. By the way, your part is 100% of your part.
Yeah.
Just own it. And once we start taking accountability, it grows our circle. We have more power when we act where we're accountable. And what it does is it empowers you. Because now I'm not doing stupid reactions to what you said, and I'm actually being more proactive and healthy about it. And I might time out the conversation. And even if I time it out and you don't, that doesn't mean I have to participate. I can just sit there quietly if that's what you want to do. Or I can walk away. But I'm going to do it with choice, not reactivity.
These are your 3 steps to conflict resolution. Thank you for mapping that out. Apples, dancing,
and
accountability. Those are the 3
100%.
things.
That's
We
right.
can remember that, and I will remember picturing you
My
doing
dance moves.
Elvis.
They're pretty hot.
But you have something fun going on, Becoming One.
Becoming
Tell
One
us.
is this online program we have basically to help people reverse this. And it's the least expensive way to get coaching with me. People come in, it's a huge group of community that love each other. We're trying to help each other become one in our relationships. We talk about these issues every week. We help give you ideas, tools. You can ask me and get real coaching, real time. You can ask our coach questions 24/7. Just a cool program. You just go to matttownsend.com and look up Becoming One.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Amy.
Townsend.com.